Welcome to our video. In this remedial video lesson, I chose the topic wherein the scores I computed were at its lowest. Our topic for today is basic elements of a short story. To help us understand the terms, here's our friend Jumblebee. In this game, all you have to do is to identify the element being described. As you can see, jumbled letters as clues are provided, and all you have to do is trace and connect the letters to form the word that we are looking for. For example, it is the beginning of the plot wherein the characters are introduced and the setting is described. The answer is exposition. So as you can see, we trace the letters to form the word without breaking the line. So it's a very simple game. Do you think you can handle it? Let's find out. Number 1. It is a person or sometimes even an animal who takes part in the action of a short story. The answer is character. We did not include S here because we're only looking for one. So check the statement, it says it is. So we're looking for a singular character. Number 2, it is the time and place in which the story happens. The answer is setting. Keep in mind that the word setting is different from the word settings. Settings is the function in your device. However, setting, on the other hand, is the time and the place wherein the story happens. Number 3, it is when you learn what happens to the characters after the problem is resolved. So the answer is resolution. This is basically the very end of the story. Number 4, it is the central idea or belief in a short story. The answer is theme. So theme is quite different with the word genre. When we say genre, that is horror, suspense, thriller, action, romance. Theme, on the other hand, is more specific. For example, it's love for your parents. The story is about family. The story is about taking revenge. The story is about violence. So those are the themes. Lastly, number 5, it is a struggle or problem between opposing forces in the story. The answer is conflict. So this conflict is whatever the main character is trying to solve or achieve in the story. So in summary, these are the different basic elements. So I emphasize on the word basic, meaning there are a lot more elements of a short story, but I chose to discuss these 6 because they are the basic ones. Exposition, character, setting, resolution, theme, and conflict. Keep in mind that all these elements can be found not only in every short story, but also in other literary texts, such as novels, films, or screenplays and theatrical plays. All those stories that you have read, you have listened to, or you have watched have those basic elements that I have previously discussed. How do we know which part of a story falls under which element? All you have to do actually is ask yourself these basic questions. Who tells us the character? What shows us the theme? Where locates the setting? Why tells us the conflict? And how shows us the resolution? So, for example, in the story of Snow White, how do we know which is the character, the theme, the setting, the conflict, or the resolution? So ask yourself, for the character, who is the fairest of them all? For the theme, what is the story all about? For the setting, where and when did the story happen? For the conflict, why did Snow White fell ill after biting the apple? That tells us the problem. How did Snow White survive? That tells us how the story was resolved, or the resolution. Let's see if you understood the topic. Let's practice. Through this simple sit work. On your answer sheets, kindly write sit work number 1. Answer the questions as we read the story. This story that I will be reading with you is from UNICEF. UNICEF devised or developed this story to teach children about the coronavirus. So I will be reading it for you, but you must read with your eyes also. Sarah's mom is her hero because she's the best mom and the best scientist in the world. But even Sarah's mom cannot find a cure for the coronavirus. What does COVID-19 look like? Sarah asked her mom. COVID-19 or the coronavirus is so tiny we cannot see it, said her mom. But it spreads in the coughs and sneezes of people who are sick and when they touch people or things around them. People who are sick get a fever and a cough and can have some trouble breathing. So we can't fight it because we can't see it? Sarah asked. We can fight it, said Sarah's mom. That's why I need you to be safe, Sarah. The virus affects many kinds of people, and everyone can help us fight it. Children are special and they can help too. You need to stay safe for all of us. I need you to be my hero. For this part, kindly answer these questions. Number 1, who are the characters in the story? Number 2, what are they talking about? Number 3, how can you relate with the characters at this point of the story? Do you find any similarities with the characters? Next, Sarah laid in bed that night and did not feel like a hero at all. She felt upset. She wanted to go to school, but her school was closed. She wanted to see her friends, but it was not safe. Sarah wanted the coronavirus to stop scaring her world. Heroes have superpowers, she said to herself, closing her eyes to sleep. What do I have? Suddenly, a gentle voice whispered her name in the darkness. Who's there? Sarah whispered back. What do you need to be a hero, Sarah? The voice asked her. I need a way to tell all the children in the world how to protect themselves so they can protect everyone else, said Sarah. So what do you need me to be? The voice asked. I need something that can fly, something with a big voice, and something that can help. With a whoosh, something amazing stepped into the moonlight. In this part, kindly answer number 4. Why is Sarah upset? Number 5. Who could the gentle voice be? Next. What are you? Gasped Sarah. I'm Aryo, he said. I've never seen an Aryo before, said Sarah. Well, I've been here all along, said Aryo. I come from your heart. If I have you, then I can tell all the children in the world about the coronavirus, said Sarah. I can be a hero. But wait, Aryo, is it safe to travel with the coronavirus around? Only with me, Sarah, said Aryo. Nothing can harm you when we are together. Sarah rode Aryo's back and together they soared out through her bed and into the night sky. They flew towards the stars and said hello to the world. As the sun rose, they landed in a lovely desert by pyramids, where a small group of children were playing. The children cried out in joy and waved at Sarah and her Ayo. Welcome, I am Salem, cried one of the boys. What are you doing here? Sorry we can't come closer, we have to stay at least 1 meter away. That's why we're here, Sarah called back. I'm Sarah, and this is Ayo. Did you know that children can keep their neighbors, friends, parents, and grandparents safe from the coronavirus? We all need to wash our hands with soap and water, said Salem with a smile. We know, Sarah. We also cough into our elbows if we are sick, and we wave to people instead of shaking hands. We try to stay inside, but we live in a very crowded city. Not everybody is staying home. Maybe I can help with that, said Aryo. We can't see the coronavirus, but they can see me. Jump on, but please sit on both sides of my wings. They are at least 1 meter apart. Number 6. Where did Aryo take Sarah? 7. Who are the new characters introduced? We can do these things for each other, said Layla. And one day we will all be able to play again and go back to school like we used to, said Salem. It was time to go home and time for Sarah to say goodbye to her new friends. They promised each other that they would never forget their adventure together. Sarah felt sad that they may not see each other for a while, but she felt better when she remembered what Kim's friend had said. Just because you can see people, it doesn't mean you can never see them. Number 8. Sarah met a lot of new friends on her adventure with Aryo. What are the lessons that she learned from them? Number 9. Do you agree with the pieces of advice she got from them? Why or why not? Sarah fell asleep, and when she woke the next day, Aryo was gone. So she went to her safe place to talk to him, then drew everything they had seen and learned on their adventure. She ran to her mom with her drawing to tell her the news. We can all help people be safe, Mom, she said. I met so many heroes on my adventure. Oh, Sarah, you were right, said her mom. There are many heroes keeping people safe from the coronavirus, like wonderful doctors and nurses, but you remind me that we can all be heroes every day, and my biggest hero is you. Lastly, number 10, according to the story, who could be heroes at this time of pandemic? So in the story, Sarah is asking herself about what she could do at this time of pandemic. She's looking for ways on letting others know how they could protect themselves from the virus so they could protect others as well. So for your sit work number 2, think of solutions that you can do as a student through this spider map. So all you have to do is copy this spider map on your answer sheet and provide possible solutions that you yourself can accomplish in order to help people survive the coronavirus. When you're done, let's proceed to sit work number 3. This time, you have to extract the parts of the story that we have previously read, which is My Hero Is You. All you have to do is use this storyboard. Copy this table in order to accomplish this activity. First, list down the characters with a short description of each. Next is the setting. Describe the setting in a short sentence. No need to write a paragraph, just a short sentence. Explain briefly the struggle or the problem of the characters in the story. That is for the conflict. For the theme, kindly write what is the story's main concept and how was the conflict resolved for resolution. So again, all you have to do is write short sentences, not paragraphs. And lastly, to evaluate whether you actually understood the basic elements, let's have sit work number 4. Read each passage and answer the question that follows. Write only the letter of your answer. Again, at this point, in seat work number 4, all you have to do is write the letter of the correct answer. Number 1, Della finished her cry and attended to her cheeks with a powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a gray cat walking a gray fence in a gray backyard. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. This is an excerpt from O. Henry's The Gift of the Magi. Who are the characters introduced in the passage? A. Della. B. Della and Jim. C. Della, Jim, and the Gray Cat. Number 2. My little darling, so you are crying from morning until night and from night until morning. Because your husband leaves you, you do not know what to do, and so you ask your old aunt for advice. You must consider her quite an expert. I don't know as much as you think I do, and yet I am not entirely ignorant of the art of loving, or rather, of making one's self loved, in which you are a little lacking. I can admit that at my age. This is from Guy de Maupassant's The Keys. What is the theme focused on in the passage? Is it A. Forgiveness? B. Start of a romance? C. End of a relationship? Number 3. The long June twilight faded into the night. Dublin lay enveloped in darkness, but for the dim light of the moon that shone through fleecy clouds, casting a pale light as of approaching dawn over the streets and the dark waters of the Liffey. Around the beleaguered forecourts, the heavy guns roared. Here and there through the city, machine guns and rifles broke the silence of the night, spasmodically like dogs barking on lone farms. Republicans and Free Staters were waging civil war. This is from The Sniper by Liam O'Flaherty. What event is being described in the passage? A. A war. B. New Year's Eve. C. A wedding. 4. Yes, Francis said, you look at every woman that passes. That's an exaggeration. Every woman. Francis took her hand off Michael's arm. If she's not pretty, you turn away fairly quickly. If she's halfway pretty, you watch her for about 7 steps. My lord, Francis, if she's pretty, you practically break your neck. This is from The Girls in Their Summer Dresses by Irwin Shaw. What is the problem or conflict of the characters in the passage? A. Michael looks at other girls. B. Frances likes someone else. C. Michael is poor and jobless. Number 5. Last number. Mad. People called her behind her back. Eccentric to her face. Dear Mrs. Brennan, you would do that. You are so eccentric. Mad. She would not agree to. Eccentric? Yes. If it was eccentric to like sitting on the stove in the sun and only talking when you wanted to, there was too much talk in the world. Sometimes she would go for days without talking. This is from The Soldier's Speeches by Stuart Cloyd. Who is being described as mad and eccentric in the passage? A. The woman next door. B. Mrs. Brennan. C. Old lady. And that's it for our remedial video. Here are the references or sources that I have used for the excerpts and the stories that were mentioned. Kindly accomplish Sitworks 1 to 4 in this remedial activity and submit it only until March 12th. Thank you and good luck.